Hello, I'm Skid, and today I'm going to be giving you a look at No Man's Sky. So you may notice this looks a little weird. I've loaded the game up in the default settings, or restored the default settings, so this should be roughly how it will appear when you first load it up on a triple monitor system. At least that's what I thought, except I vaguely remember this actually being stretched, and it looks like it's just lowered the resolution, so I need to make sure that I've not messed something up here. There, that looks better. So yeah, basically when you first load this game, it's going to default to 1080p borderless widescreen. This is a problem because it will stretch that 1080p across all three monitors and it will make it look like dog shit, to put it bluntly. So what you're going to want to do is just immediately start up a normal game like I just did there. Begin your initialization. Let all of this go through because you can't do anything until it's finished.
Life support systems activated.
Apparently I can use my thrusters even though I'm not actually able to do anything else.
Scanner damaged. Repair required. Aerial propulsion jetpack online. Multi-tool and mining laser attachment operational. User initialization sequence complete.
Okay, smash the tab button, get rid of that, hit the escape button, and then go to your options menu up here. You want video options, and then change this to your correct resolution. Now, the default field of view is going to be 75. This is not degrees horizontal. No one knows quite what these numbers mean, but they go all the way up to 100. We'll show it at the default for now, but I'm going to go into the options menu, or I'm going to go into a file later, and I'm going to change these to 130, because you can manually set them higher than the game will let you set them. But it's just going to be a matter of finding the field of view that is comfortable for you. I found 100 not quite, or didn't quite feel right, so I set it to 150, because I know that if you take, I think it's 90 degrees, which is what I usually have, I think, as default, and expand it out to my triple monitor setup, it wants to be around about 153, 156 as default, but that was too much. So 30 was a nice, 130 was a nice middle ground. Okay. So this actually doesn't look as zoomed in as it used to. Has it actually set that? Or is my main character just really fat? So this actually doesn't look anywhere near as zoomed in as it did do the first time I played it. Anyway, now that you've got that all set, you can actually start reading things. But unfortunately, we skipped a load of messages by having to click buttons. So the reason why I said just get in and set this is because the next thing you want to do is quit out and create a new character. It's probably the best way around to do things. So I'm going to quit out entirely so I can set my field of view back to 130, and then I'll explain how I did that. So I'll see you in a second. In fact, I can do that, it's just you won't be able to see anything. So there will be text on the screen in a minute. Okay, so you're going to want to navigate to the game's install directory. So assuming you're playing on Steam, that's obviously going to be your Steam install directory, followed by Steam apps, followed by common, followed by No Man's Sky. Then you want binary, settings, and you want to be editing tkgraphicsettings.mxml. In that file, you will find two properties called field of, or FOV on foot and FOV in ship. Simply change these values to what you want to try. This is going to be something you'll have to do some amount of trial and error with to get it to look right. So you may want to wait until after you've got all the basics for the survival. or basically or you've got the basic mechanics down and then go from there. Anyway, so obviously No Man's Sky is a fairly old game at this point. It was released almost 5 years ago on the 12th of August 2016. I am recording this on the 16th of June 2022. I only started playing it less than 7 days ago, so I'm still fairly new to all of this. By my understanding, I think somewhere in 2018 they fixed the fact that the UI, the HUD, used to be stretched. I think the field of view that you could always manipulate to be high enough to play on. I can't remember. But yeah. So, I already have a save on here. We're going to start a new save for the time being. Just so that I can give you the basics of the survival system. Now, if you're new to this and you're not going to pay any attention to what I'm about to tell you about the basics of survival, do not start in survival mode, particularly if you haven't fixed your screen resolution yet. Because one of the things that survival mode changes over normal, your hazard protection drops at about 3 times faster. I think your oxygen also drops faster. Obviously it's saying there's more hazards, your inventory is smaller and things cost more. Another thing it doesn't tell you, that it really should, if you die on normal mode you drop a grave. All your items are on that grave. Fairly standard fare. If you die in survival mode, everything in your main inventory is destroyed. Period. It's gone. Permadeath is obviously permadeath, creative is creative. I've not touched the community expedition yet, but this appears to be basically a time-limited event whereby you create a new character to do a specific storyline or a specific set of things, and that will unlock mostly, I think, cosmetics and special ships that you can then claim on your main character. So you want to you can create a temporary character for the expedition, and then once you've got everything unlocked, you can go back to your main character and then use everything on there. That's how I believe it works. Anyway, let's drop ourselves into survival. Okay, so we will try to read the messages in the speed at which they give us to them.
Commencing Atlas system suit initialization.
But during this initialization sequence, try to find a cave nearby if you can see one.
Life support systems.
It will make this, particularly if you're running on permadeath, this is why I kind of advise you start on normal mode.
Kinetic system online.
I think this is a radioactive world. No? Temperature is a little hot, but that should be manageable.
Required.
It's a low toxicity.
Aerial propulsion jetpack online. Multi-tool and mining laser attachment operational. User initialization sequence complete.
Okay, so we're taking damage from something. Is that heat damage? Yes, we are taking heat damage. It's not a particularly hot world, but we are taking the heat damage.
Thermal protection falling.
So we actually have a cave right next to us. So this is what it's saying. Environment hostile. Hazard protection falling. Recommend. Scan location for survival resources. What it's going to want us to find is sulfur. But as you might be able to tell, reading that message over there has taken all of the time it's taken for my hazard protection to fade.
Extreme heat damage detected.
So we are now taking damage to our shield, and now we're safe. So our hazard protection will now recover. So this will now give us enough time to read the messages that that the game is going to ask us to do. So yeah, that's why you shouldn't start on survival if you don't know what you're doing, because by the time you finish reading the messages that it's giving you on how to survive, you're going to be dead. So yeah, what it wants us to do is try to scan for resources, which we're not going to be able to do because the scanner is damaged. So now it wants us to find ferrite dust. Scanner status, critically damaged. Recommendations, repair scanner to locate survival resources. By the way, those playing on 21:9, the UI is spanned, so it's on my left and right hand screen. The hazard protection bar is all the way on the left-hand side, and these messages are all the way on the right. This makes it particularly aggravating because obviously you're looking on either side of the screen to try and read this information and parse it, which if you're playing on survival, you're not going to have the time to do. So yeah, it wants us to gather ferrite dust. So it tells us that we need to be shooting small rocks to do this. Now, down here, even though I said immediately find a cave and jump into it, you're not going to find much that actually has ferrite in it. Most of that is on the surface. So now that our hazard protection has recovered, we can jump our way back up here. So hazard protection should last a decent amount of time. It's not a long amount of time. It's going to be like 2.5 minutes. If you're playing on normal, it's going to last closer to 10 minutes. It'll last significantly longer. So if I will mention now why I adjusted the field of view all the way up. So if I actually fire, this is at 130 field of view. That's how much my character is filling up the view or filling up the space at 130. At 175, it takes up like 40% of the middle screen. It's ridiculous. But I, generally speaking, play this game in first-person mode. So to change to first-person mode, press X. This will bring up your quick command menu. Scroll your way over to the left-hand side. You can do that with the mouse wheel. Select Utilities, select Toggle Camera, and now you're in first-person view. Much better. Okay, so we need to find some small rocks, like these things here. Now, it is keeping track on the right-hand side how much ferrite we have. We need 75 total. We're going to need a bit more. Okay, 1 or 2 more. There we go. Okay, so it wants us to repair the scanner or repair the scanner damage. So for that, we want to press Tab to bring up our multi-tool menu. The game isn't paused with this open; it is with the main or the menu open with Escape. So just select this, left-click to repair. That's the thing we're repairing with. And now our scanner is repaired. So we need to scan the environment, and we're looking for sodium. Sodium is Na, and I already knew there was one directly behind us. It's yellow. And it glows yellow, which makes it a little bit easier to find. So we can use this to recharge hazard protection. The game's going to tell us how to do that, but I'm going to hop down here, get some cover, because that sodium is not going to be enough to fully recover us. So it wants us to press X to bring up the quick menu, and then, oh, there's 2 ways of doing it. You can do it via the quick menu. So it's under recharge equipment, and then hazard protection is there, and then you can tell it what you want to use to recharge it, or you can do it from the menu. So if you press Tab to bring up your exosuit, then you can left click the hazard protection and recharge it from here. But as I said, we have a cave nearby, we don't need to worry about that. So, oh, it does need us to do it anyway. So that's going to be the basics of survival. So now it's going to take us to our ship. We will get ourselves there, and then we'll swap over into my main save. Those things over there are nasty. They are going to try and hurt us. I think they are toxic. So yeah, it wants us to go find our ship. Our ship is all the way over there. That's not going to be long enough for us to be able to get there with hazard protection, so we're going to want to make sure we're picking up sodium along the way. If you know what you're doing, you also want to grab some of that and some metal. So basically just grab things as you're going. You want carbon, sodium. You can get oxygen from hostile plant life, or there are plants that drop oxygen. But sodium is the more important thing. Let's actually collect some of this on the way over. Even though this is going to get deleted. Actually, we don't actually need any of this stuff for the next bit, do we? We are going to need some carbon, though. It's going to be a little while till the scanner's charged. I can see some sodium over there, so we're going to take a non-direct route.
Thermal protection falling.
Should grab some ferrite as well. I believe I'm going to need at least 50. So I should note, the symbol that appears next to these things tells you what you use to gather them. So if they have a... two. If they have a star like that, it needs a... or a gem like that, it needs a mining laser to gather. Ah, there's the crash site.
Protection falling.
Some more sodium over here. Okay, so let's head over to our ship. We are almost out of our protection, so we're going to press... this menu here, the quick menu, is actually... it tries to be clever. If you have something that is almost empty, it will show recharge equipment by default, and then show you the thing that's almost empty first.
Technology recharge.
So similarly, the mining laser is almost out, so that needs carbon to recharge. Our oxygen is getting low, but that's fine. So long as we're standing still, we generally speaking don't use it. Scenario: iteration, long number, deleted, boundary separation failure likely. Vessel 16, emptied, cause, sentinel inversion, deliberate transfer. Analysis: fresh iteration generated, anomaly containment prepared. Broadcast received. Traveller anomaly detected. Anomaly is compliant. Position logged. System integration scan initialized. So this is basically the start of the story. And the next thing it wants us to do is hop in the ship. Now the ship will protect you from hazardous environments, but it won't regenerate your oxygen. Iteration online. Atlas connection intermittent. Launch thrusters offline. Pulse engine offline. I find myself alone on a strange world, unequipped and in danger. I have no memory of how I got here, no sense of it before. But this ship is or at least seems to recognize me. The controls react to my touch, or at least that of my exosuit. I'm not dead yet, and this ship is a lifeline out to the stars. Read log. Log unavailable. Substitute in data. Exosuit. Connected. Suggestion. Pilot should perform maintenance. Select desired repair path. Repair ship systems. Self-guided repair protocols. Initiated. Okay, so Pulse Engine provides space and atmospheric flight propulsion. The system is highly damaged and requires metal plating. And a hermetic seal to repair. Okay, so it actually wants us to get off the ship, and then it's going to tell us roughly how to repair it. So repair Pulse Engine. It's going to require crafted products. So this is the introduction to the crafting system. We need more ferrite dust in order to be able to make a metal plate. So let's find some small rocks or larger rocks that we can actually gather. That's not a rock, that's carbon. Can we gather those? No, they're too hard. Now, your mining laser actually has a reasonably long range. There is precious too few small rocks around here. Here we go. Missed. One more should do it. Is that a rock? That is a rock. Okay. So your crafting system is basically done through your inventory. So you press tab, you select an empty slot. I think we're actually out of range of the ship. We are, so we'll do this in our inventory. So you left click an empty slots and then select what you want to craft.
Product constructed.
Nice and simple. So it wants us to repair the pulse engine with this first. So we don't actually need to return to the ship, we just need to be in range of the ship, which is about 50 units. And then we can
Falling.
click the pulse engine, click the part we want to replace, and that's it. So it should now ask us, ship partially repaired, board the ship and consult the ship diagnostics. This bit is very hand-holdy for the fact that the survival bit is not. Anyway, we'll leave this bit here and we'll drop into our main game now. Which I think we've got to get through all of this first. But yeah, this is part of the tutorial system. You can skip the messages, like I just did there. Mode select. But if you're new, I would advise playing it. So let me just delete this because we don't need it anymore. And hop into this one. My actual playtime is probably closer, probably close to 25 hours. I have spent a bunch of time idling in here with YouTube on that I've been watching and not actually doing anything. So once you've got your ship prepared, you're going to be able to start exploring. You're not going to be able to leave your system yet. So this is a very hazardous planet. If you look at the temperature here, it is 300 degrees. That's because there is a firestorm going on. The actual temperature outside is usually 100 degrees, which is still an extreme weather condition, but the storm just makes it incredibly dangerous. So the reason I was on this planet was because I was after a couple of rarer resources that are only found specifically on barren planets, which includes volcanic ones. So activated copper was one thing and pyrite was another. Now the reason I actually wanted the activated copper was because this ship is a crashed ship, and I got it I found a crashed ship site and then I claimed the ship, which is what you can do from it. So there's multiple ways to get new ships. You can either buy them off other NPCs, or you can find which one is it called? You can find distress signals which may have a crashed ship on it, and if you find a distress signal with a crashed ship, you can claim it and add it to your collection. I believe you can only have 9 ships at a time. I think is right. But yeah, when you get a crashed ship, there's going to be a lot of systems that are outright broken, and a lot of these slots are going to have damaged technology in them, which you need to repair to free the slots. And that's what I wanted the activated copper for, so that I can repair that slot. So obviously it's a lot more dangerous out here than it is on the other planets. So, as I said, ordinarily, critical exposure, which you can see on the left-hand screen, again, sorry for 21:9 monitors. This is the scanner. You'll get access to this fairly early on. You'll get access to the scanner before you'll get access to, what's it called, the hyperdrive. So before you can leave the system. But yeah, in this environment, I've only got, I think, about 40 seconds worth of hazard protection. Whereas we have a... I saw you. Whereas on a normal planet, you probably will have closer to 2.5 minutes, working on the assumption you're playing on survival. Again, you have a much longer duration if you're playing on normal. Anyway, we don't want to be sitting around here anymore. We do want to be moving on, but first let's manage my inventory slightly. Let's move these 2 pyrites into our ship. So, on this difficulty setting, my base inventory will only hold 250 of mineable resources, and then different resources have different limits on how many you can stack on them. Navigational data, for example, stacks to 15. Where are they? They're on my ship. Whereas these casings will only stock to 5. Generally speaking, your ship will be able to hold twice as much of the basic resources. So again, these are your minerals and things like that. It will have a double capacity for them. Similarly, your standard exosuit has a cargo container on it. The cargo container will also hold double. This will hold double of anything, not just double of your basic materials. And your ship likewise has cargo on it as well. How much they have is dependent upon the ship and its class. For example, a trader class ship will have a lot more cargo space on it by default. You can expand the cargo space in these ships, but it is prohibitively expensive. I haven't added any slots to this, and adding a slot is going to cost me 10 million. So I'm basically stuck with the size that we have here until I find a ship that has more on it. Your exosuit, however, you can get upgrades for this a little bit easier. You can get 2 upgrades per system. The space station that's in the system, which we will go visit now, will always have 1 you can use. And then the anomaly, which is something you'll encounter soon after you start getting to get your hyperdrive fixed and you get to a new system. The anomaly is kind of the hub for multiplayer content. It's basically the hub in general. So where is the station? There's the station. So at the minute I'm using, there's 2 different ways that you can have the flight activate. You can either have, get around that. You can either have it on the trailing mode that I have it on at the minute, where it's going to, or the ship is going to trail that, and how fast it trails it is dependent upon how far away it is. Or you can have it on a more raw input mode. You're probably better off using the trail mode if you're playing on mouse and keyboard, just because otherwise you're going to be potentially moving your mouse up and around multiple times to correct. But the trail mode isn't exactly the smoothest. It isn't exactly the smoothest way to do this. Anyway, you don't have to fly around like this. Once you've actually got to space, your pulse engine can be used by pressing and holding space. This is your in-system fast travel. You can think of this similar to frameshift drive while you're in Elite Dangerous. It's a similar sort of thing, but you don't actually control this. It will fly in a straight line, or it will attempt to reach whatever target you've selected, which will be whatever's directly in front of you. In this case, we actually are pointing at the station, and it's locked onto the station, but I'm not sure if the station is in front of or behind that planet. You're also going to get attacked by pirates while you're in space. So far, these have not been a problem to deal with, but it is going to pull me out of pulse engine. Okay. Now, combat is basically fairly simple. It's as you would expect. There is an amount of lock-on dependent upon where your cursor is pointing, not the front of your ship. And you want to be aiming for the lead reticle. So you can take the shields down with, or when you start, you will have access to your cannons, but you'll also have access to the ability to add a rocket launcher. Now the rocket launcher does a lot of damage to hull, but almost nothing to shields. One other thing to note that was added relatively recently, but I don't particularly like because, let me just show you. I'm going to press and hold S. I'm not doing anything else. I'm just holding S now. And it will basically lock on your current target and try to auto-follow. The problem I have with it is it turns faster by pressing and holding S than it does do by trying to follow manually. So basically, it is superior in every way. When you get into combat, just press and hold S and shoot the thing. It removes any challenge at all from a fight, or at least from a small fight like that. things might be different when you start getting into the larger fights. But yeah, it's an easy mode. Whether or not you want to use it is entirely up to you. Generally speaking, I use it if I can't be asked to deal with them because they die so quickly at the minute. But I'm in a relatively safe system. Okay, so while we're heading over, let's have a quick look at some other things. So, as well as our basic technology, so if you remember we were referring to hazard protection. Your hazard protection and your life support are actually items or technology that is on your exosuit. The jetpack is here as well. Now you can get upgrades for these, and they will basically, they don't have to be sat next to them, but they get a bonus if they are next to items of their same type. It doesn't tell you what the bonus is, but when they're lit up like this, they are adjacent and they're getting the bonus from each other. But yeah, so in addition to having these technologies, you can upgrade them by getting these exosuit modules. Now these ones here are dropped from Sentinels, which hopefully we'll get to see before the end of the day. But you can also buy them from where we're heading at the minute, the space station. Most everything else, we're being attacked by pirates again. Most everything else on here... there it is.
Warning. Threat detected.
Okay, we can ignore the pirates so long as we can find the entrance to this.
Starships approaching.
So the pirates are going to come behind me, they're going to start shooting me. I think my shields are back up. There we go. Pirates can't follow you into here, they'll just leave. So yeah, you can get upgrades for your ship, your multi-tool, and your exosuit. There are basically two different things. You can get blueprints, which allow you to manually craft them. So if you can see install technologies down there, I can install those because I have the blueprints for them. This one, for example, will increase my heat resistance for my hazard protection system. If I put it next to my hazard protection system, I'll get a bigger boost from it. This is the same but for radiation. This one here increases how long I can stay underwater for. And shield lattice is obviously going to... Oh, that's just a standard... Oh, I really should equip that. Is a 20% increase to the hazard protection battery. So while this increases the resistance, the battery basically is the equivalent of increasing the bar size. So it will cost more to replenish, but it will also last for longer. Okay. We are now on a space station. There should be, so far, one in every system. I think they can be abandoned, but usually they're populated. And you're going to find them filled with people. Now, you're going to want to talk to these people, because let me talk to one of these. We don't understand their language, so a lot of this is utter gibberish. And the important thing when you get to a station talking to these guys is they will teach you a word of their language. There is other ways that you can get request dialect help. There are other ways that you can get language for, or get words to help you better understand the language. But by far the fastest way is going to a station and talking to everyone. Otherwise you need to specifically find, what are they called? I can't remember. We'll find one when we get onto a planet. Anyway, so these are kind of mini hubs. This thing over here is your trade terminal. So this is your galactic trade terminal. Here you can buy and sell some basic resources and some more complicated things. This is also where you'll grab trade goods from. This guy here is going to be your mission specialist, so you can get missions from this guy. I can actually turn in 2 missions, can't I? There we go. Yeah, so you can get some missions from here. Basically, you have 3 different factions and then 3 different races. You have a mercenary faction, an explorers guild, or a mercenary guild, an explorers guild, and a merchants guild. So obviously trade, exploration, combat. You will also then have a faction, or there's 3 races. The Vakeen, the Gek, and the Kovacs. So I hit escape to pull up this. So this is the escape menu. Discoveries will give you information of all of the planets and systems that you found. These ones here are actually planets and systems other people have found. I have no idea who these people are. I don't know why they're showing me these here. But these ones here are the ones that we've been to. This indicates I have a base on it. Catalog is where you can find basically all your unlocks. Things that you found. So these are all raw minerals. These are all the craftable products. The ones with the question marks we've either not found yet or we cannot craft. Same for equipment. Let's see. Here we go. Milestones. So you have the Gek, the Vakeen, and the Kovacs. Those are the 3 races. Okay, this one over here. Each of the races will be kind of aligned to one of the specific guilds. At least that's how it's worked so far. The Vakeen are kind of aligned to the Mercenary Guild, the Gek are the Merchants, and then the Kovacs are the... what's it called? Words? Exploration. This guy here, Cartographer Dad, okay? This guy here you can use to get basically coordinates. If you're having trouble finding stuff, you can use this guy to help you find things. So you can purchase a random map, or you can ask for exchange for a specific map, and then you can exchange your navigational data for these. So we have a secret cartographer data, we have an emergency cartographer data. If you want to find distress signals, this is a good way to go about it. Commercial, this will generally speaking show you to a trade hub of some description. Alien, I believe, will show you to ancient artifact sites and other things of that nature. And then settlements will show you to a settlement. Now, settlements you can actually buy and take control of, although I don't know how that works because I've not done it yet. Now, over on the other side is where we get our upgrades. I suppose I should show you this while I'm here. So obviously we have an NPC here, and this is their ship. And if we talk to this NPC, so far every single one of them that I found will allow me to buy their ship. So we can offer to trade with them. So this is the same as the other system up there. You can buy and sell resources. Different NPCs will have different resources. They will all buy whatever you have, basically. Or you can make an offer on the Lifeform Starship. So this is what that this character's starship looks like. It's got a lot more slots than mine. Less technology slots, more cargo slots. It's generally speaking just bigger than all the ones we found so far, but I think that's because it's a trade ship. If we negotiate the price, I will do what for my 21:9 monitor viewers, I'll do what I do on my other videos, in that I will slide this menu over so that you can see it, because this is all bound on my left-hand monitor. So yeah, we can see that we have 22 free slots on this ship. It's now fully repaired. We can see the trade-in value of this ship, so if we sold this ship, this is what we'd get out of it. This is how much theirs is. It is in fact a hauler. It has 21 or 31 slots on here, and we've already looked at the other ones. So if we had the units, we could straight up buy this, or we could exchange our ship for this one. It's worth noting that the exchange value is just on the ship itself, not the contents of it. So if you're ever going to sell a ship, then make sure you remove all your inventory from it and then disassemble everything that you care about the materials for. Okay, and up here we find where we upgrade everything. So this terminal here lets you upgrade your ship. So it tells us where we can find upgrades, which is basically over on the left-hand side. The Starship upgrade itself. Yeah, we can claim the scrap worth, so that's how we just sell this, and it will give us the money in scrap materials as opposed to giving us it in just straight units. So we'll get a bunch of items. So it's important to know, or important to have free space in your inventory, otherwise you're not going to be able to sell the ship. If we go to upgrade ship, then basically we can upgrade two things. We can increase the storage capacity of the ship, so that will allow us to add an extra slot. We can apply an augment. I've not found any of these yet, so I don't know what they are. Or we can upgrade the ship's class. If we go back to the Starship page, the class is here. Basically, the class provides a multiplier based upon the type ship, or let me try again. The class provides a multiplier dependent upon the type of ship to its base values. So its damage protection, its strength, its drive range, and its maneuverability, and a few other things. So a higher class ship will give a... I know what it is for pistols. For example, if we have a look at my exo tool, this one here, is this the one? This one here, because this is a pistol, then it will get a bonus of, I think, between plus 25 to 30 for being class A. That's percentage on the mining speed. Different types of guns, again, will have different types of bonuses. So rifles tend to allow more slots but don't have much in the way of bonuses. They also have a much lower scan range bonus. I think submachine guns give a good bonus to damage. Unfortunately, that information has been stripped out of being able to easily see it, so you'll have to use the wiki for that. Now, this thing over here is very, very important. Every single space station has one of these on them, or every space station in every system has one of these on them. And this is where you upgrade the storage for your exosuit. Now, obviously, you have multiple storage categories here. Generally speaking, general ones are going to be the cheaper ones to upgrade. Cargos are significantly more expensive. You're going to want to upgrade these by finding drop pods. There's a specific way to do that, but I don't have the materials to do it. Basically, you need a drop pod navigational data, and then you use it inside a signal booster, and it will tell you where one is. You can if you have enough of those signal datas, the drop pod signal datas, whatever they're called, if you have enough of them, then you can easily find 2 drop pods in a system. The problem with it is these will often show you the nearest one unless you're right next to it. So you would use it, find that one, then use it again, and it will show you another one somewhere else. If you then try and use it somewhere else, it may just point you back to one you've already found. So, worth paying attention to. This guy here will sell us basic upgrades for our exosuit. Now, these are actually going to be bought using nanite clusters. So there's 3 currencies in this game: units, nanites, and quicksilver. Quicksilver is gained largely from the expeditions, I believe. Units is your basic money, and nanites is more technological currency. The fastest way I found of getting nanites is actually just making sure when you get to a planet to scan all the wildlife on it, which we're going to do in a second. It's the next thing we're going to do. But yeah, you can use that to buy these upgrades here. Now, these are actually random upgrades as opposed to the blueprint upgrades. The blueprints are always fixed. They're a specific type that will give you a specific bonus. These ones, however, if we take, for example, shield module, underwater protection, life support module, movement, thermal protection. Let's grab, because we already have a radiation, let's grab this toxic protection one. Okay, so if we go into our inventory, assuming we have the space, we are running out of space. Let's see. Is there anything I can stack? No, we need to go back to our base. We can get rid of that. When you're fairly early in the game, do not feel bad about throwing away items. Most things, particularly raw resources, are easy to come by once you know where to find them. So if you need space, just get rid of them. Okay, so this one here, this will significantly improve in survival time in toxic environments. So if we install this, This is the modifier that is given us. Did I just duplicate? Did we actually already have? Oh no, we did get the right one. Okay, so... Ah, this is different. It's not actually giving me how much it increases by. Charge equipment with ammonia and iron batteries. That's not how I expected that to work. I expected it to give me a random benefit, not need charging. A significant upgrade to toxic protection class B. Ah, maybe I slightly misunderstood what these ones were. I thought they were supposed to be random. But yeah, once you've installed a new technology, right, this is a technology rather than a module. This is not working how I expected it to, but that's just because I haven't used this yet. I probably should have used it earlier. But yeah, we can actually dismantle this to get stuff out of it. But I kind of expected this to require being built, because if I go to this and I tell it to install either one of these, then I actually have to provide it with these materials to get it functional in order to get the bonus out of it. But I think this one here is just a straight up, like it says, it's an upgrade to this, but it's its own thing and it has its own fuel source. But we can also then dismantle this to get get ammonia out of it. Interesting. That's not how I expected that to work. But we have one of those for exosuits. That one there is for exocrafts, which I haven't built yet. We'll see if we can get one built today. This one is for Starship research. And then this one here is for multi-tool research. Now, next to the multi-tool research one, you will have a weapons terminal. This one here will have a random weapon in it. I think this is a rifle, even though it looks more like a pistol. Yeah. So yeah, you can buy new weapons from here, but there are other places you can get weapons from. You can get them for free. I've not found many of those. I found more places that let you buy multi-tools than anything else. But again, the multi-tools have classes that define what they are capable of and what bonuses they have. Now this terminal here is used to upgrade your multi-tool. You can add a free expansion slot if you have the material for it, otherwise you can increase the slots the tool has from this just for units, which I don't need to do at the minute. And then lastly, same as with your Starship, you can upgrade the class here using nanites. Out of curiosity, purchase upgrade module. Yeah, the module is flexible and extends and the exact upgrade statistics are unknown.
Product received.
Maybe it's just a slightly different thing. Yeah, this one is explicitly an upgrade module. Weird. So yeah, this is more a technology than an upgrade module, which is weird, but fair enough. Okay, let's get to a new planet and try and quickly set up a base in less than 20 minutes. Should I set up a base or should I do something else? Actually, have I done that yet? Is the anomaly in this system? The anomaly is not in this system. By the way, just a note, that thing over there is a freighter. It's basically a capital ship. Capital ships can hold your smaller ships, and they can also hold a bunch of other things. They're basically mobile bases. And much the same as with ships and weapons in this game, you can largely buy them all. I think you can only have one freighter at a time though, unlike ships and guns. But yeah, there's apparently a way to get a free freighter. The first time you help defend a freighter, the captain will offer to just give you it. But before that, Let's see, I imagine we're too close to summon the Space Anomaly. Let's get a little bit further away. There we go. Whenever you get to a new system, you're also going to want to summon in the Spatial Anomaly because you can get a cargo upgrade from there or here as well, once per system. It won't look like that you can get the upgrade once you've bought it once, but again, once per system you're allowed to get an upgrade from here as well. Now this is a fairly important story device. Currently the plot of the game wants me to go here, and this is where other players are. So they did add co-op or multiplayer to the game. So everyone here, these little triangles, they are all other players. You can also invite other players to your world, to your bases and all that stuff. Now I believe this terminal here, the Nexus, is used as part of the expeditions. At the very least, it contains missions that will let you, or additional missions that will let you get things for it. But again, I've not done any of these yet. So you can earn Quicksilver from these. Maybe the expeditions are slightly different. This one over here is the Quicksilver vendor. He will allow you to buy things with Quicksilver. This one here will give you nanite for scan data. I forget what they do. They won't talk to me. That's for a system I haven't encountered yet. Oh, and this device over here, you would have seen one on the normal space station. That lets you change your appearance, including your race. Okay, this is where you're going to want to visit a lot of. This is for permanent upgrade or technology upgrades. So this one here will give us ship-based technologies. So if we research Starship upgrades, so this is the research tree. Basically, we can buy anything from here for nanites, and then once we have it, we'll be able to construct it any number of times we want to on our, well, in this case, our ships. And they all give a variety of benefits. This one, for example, reduces the launch cost of thrusters. It's kind of pointless unless you're using uranium, because the basic launch thruster takes 50% of its charge in order to take off. So a 20% reduction means that it takes 40% per liftoff, which means that at the end of the day you'll end up with 20, and since the refuel fully refuels it, you're basically wasting 20% of your refuel. Unless you're using uranium, then it's cheaper. This one here is for base parts. This one here is for exosuit upgrades. And this here is the exosuit upgrade that I mentioned you can get once per system, which we've not done yet this system. So we can see here, it's going to cost us $500,000 to buy this cargo upgrade. Which is why you want to be doing your cargo upgrades exclusively with drop pods, because they are free. Otherwise you can increase your general inventory here, or you can increase your technology inventory from here. So technology can only hold technology and upgrades, whereas general can hold everything. So it's going to depend. If you've got a lot of things in here that aren't linked together, so for example if I wanted to keep this, I could throw it into here. So I could buy that slot for cheaper, then move that over, and then it's no longer taking space in my main inventory, but it's still active. But I think I'm probably going to destroy that just for the time being, but we'll buy that slot there. Okay, and over on the other side, these ones, this one is for multi-tools. You can buy a multi-tool here. I think this is a rifle as well. Looks like a rifle. Yep, that's a rifle. So yeah, they'll give you multi-tool upgrades. This one will give you exocraft upgrades. And then this one will be for you learning new recipes. For this is for crafting and gathering. Well, crafting generally. But it also allows you to craft trade goods, which you can make money off of. Anyway, I won't give too much details about this. As I said, this is kind of a story plot device. but you'll encounter it fairly early on in the story. So let's get back to our ship and let's go jump ourselves to a planet and see if we can quickly throw together a base. Okay, so I believe your 85 Z7 is the only one that we've actually been to. Is that a barren planet? That's a nuclear planet. It's copper, uranium. We do need copper.
Hostile scan detected.
Copper, rust, magnesium, ferrite. There's at least a couple more planets.
Threat detected. Hostile ships approaching.
I'm just going to cheat or kill these the easy way. I'm going to hold S. Okay, dead.
Hostile ships defeated.
Okay. It's a swamp planet. That's the volcano planet. I kind of want to build a base on the volcano planet for a single reason. The access to the activated copper and pyrite. The ability to teleport to a planet that has them. Give me a second. I'm going to cut this out. I will see you back over there, where we came from. But I'm going to head back into this station here, and I'm actually going to tear out this one. Sorry, I shouldn't be sorting the inventory. I'm just giving myself some extra slots. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to buy myself extra fire protection, and then I will see you back over on that planet, and we'll see about making a base. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've arrived. So I went ahead and I bought, where is it? The infrared, or the infrared deflector. S-class thermal protection upgrade. We'll see how much of a bonus this gives me on this volcanic planet. So I'd like an area that has less mountainous, or that's less mountainous. Oh, that's not the ground. I thought that was the ground. No, it's just very, very dusty down here at the minute. I reckon there must be a storm going on, because I cannot see anything. I think we must have some distance to the ground. Whoa, nope, there's the ground. We shouldn't have come down on the dark side, we should have come down on the light side. Yeah, there's a storm going on. Because one thing I noticed about these things, these are called storm crystals.
Weather update. Storm clearing.
There we go, now we can see. Okay. Let's see if we can't find... I don't remember this planet having a ring. Let's see if we can't find a reasonable place to land. Hey, good. I think back there may be a good place to land. So I'm going to quick look around. Oh, better yet. This was actually what I was kind of looking for. These are landing pads. If you land on these, it doesn't cost to take off again. Okay, what's my hazard protection like now? Ah, it's an overshield. So I have an additional bar before my actual hazard protection kicks in. I don't know how long it's going to last for, but we have it. Anyway, when you first land on a new planet, we've actually already been here, so this is kind of redundant for me. That's a sentinel. But what you'll want to do, once you've got access to the scanner, is scan all of the indigenous fauna. So the reason to do that is because there's a specific number of fauna, well, there's actually a specific number of flora, fauna, and minerals on every planet. But if you find all the flora, or the fauna rather, sorry, then you'll get a button up here that will give you a large amount of units for every one you found. I think it's something like 5. This one was 3,000. So what would that make it? 250? Yeah, 250 nanites for everyone you found when you find them all. This list here will always appear here. It won't necessarily show you the name and the actual picture of them, but it will tell you the rarity, where they're found, and when they're active. Obviously, diurnal is daytime, and if they're nocturnal, they're active in the night. You will also find, sometimes in one of these, it will say found in the north. The only way to know how north or south you are is via your ship. So on the bottom left-hand screen, or the screen here, that first number there, the one that's currently minus 0.02, that actually tells me I'm basically sitting on the equator. If it's a negative number, you're in the southern hemisphere. If it's a positive number, you're in the northern hemisphere. Anyway, we want to build a base. So in order to do that, we need to make a base computer. We need chromatic metal, we have it, so we can just drop the base computer here. Can we actually build this near here? That would be great. But it may already be claimed. Searching cartography archives. Reveals no prior claim this site. Sonar test confused suitable for a claim site. Yes. That sets up this area as basically mined to create a base. Okay, our overshield is about halfway gone. I don't believe we have any ferrite, which is what I need for building materials, so... Oh no, we do have some. Didn't we mine some? Did I throw it away? Oh no, I accidentally used it. I need to be careful, there's a sentinel nearby. The sentinel will be angry by the fact that I'm mining stuff. The sentinel won't attack me unless it scans me while I'm mining stuff. So basically you get a warning, hey, don't mine here. Okay, is that enough to create a box? Not what we're looking for. We need a floor. We'll set it here for now. I may move it later. Alloy wall. Nope, we need way more. Oops. I didn't do nothing, sir. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill that thing over there. I didn't mistake it for minerals. think so. Well, that thing is pure ferrite, that's not helpful. Oh, damn it. We have no means of surviving this, so we need to get our ass back to our ship. Pronto.
Thermal protection falling.
Unless we can put a roof on this quickly. Maybe? Where's the roof? Where's the roof? Where's the roof?
Protection falling. Extreme heat damage detected.
Wrong button. Quick, quick, quick.
Technology recharge.
Yes, we count as inside. This works. Okay, so we want to build more walls. Let's press B so that we can detach the camera. Snap that in there. I don't think we can build a door because I think we need... Yeah, we need pure ferrite and we don't have... Oh, we wasn't able to grab any. We know where there is some. So, temperature's nice and toasty outside. That's not going to last long. We apparently haven't scanned that yet. Hang on a second.
Thermal protection falling. Technology recharge. Technology recharge. Thermal protection falling. Units received.
Is that enough?
Temperature levels
Excellent.
stabilizing.
That is enough for a door. There we go. We have a home. Okay, so we need two other things. Biofuel reactor. We'll use that for the time being, and then I want to make a base portal module. That's going to need us 200. It's going to need us stuff that we don't have, and we don't have a great inventory for. Let's get to that. I can't convert that back to that. We don't need the salts, we don't need the livers. Let's get rid of this. Killing things was accidental. We're going to need carbon though. Is there any carbon I can get from the door?
Thermal protection falling.
So yeah, your tool's got a pretty decent range on it. Anyway, I'm going to quickly grab the materials we need, and then I'll be right back. So we'll cut here for the sake of brevity, because I may just have to wait for this storm to end. This is a very dangerous planet. So yeah, I'll be back in a sec once we have what we need. Okay, we should have everything we need. I believe I need 5 of these total. Okay, so we want to create power, 1 bioreactor. Plonk that there. And then I want to create a base teleporter. Plonk that there. Now let's connect
Protection falling.
1 to t'other.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
And let's give this thing some fuel.
Technology
Okay,
recharge.
2.5 minutes. Okay, so this thing here is going to allow me to move from here to a number of bases. A bunch of these which... this is its teleporter, so instead of letting me teleport itself, that's the first base I created, which was on the original world I dropped on. And this is my main one, which is nowhere near finished. But it is a safe world, and it's where all my storage containers are. here we go. This is home. Don't mind the Sentinel thingy nearby. You can get a weapon from those. Those are one of the other places you can buy weapons. I won't tell you the other things that you can do there. Anyway, we have a medium refinery here. I still haven't got around to putting lights up. We have a save point. This thing here is a basic research unit. You will get this before you get access to the main one back at the Anomaly. So this is where you'll get some of your basic technologies from and your basic building materials. They fall into 3 classes: wooden, stone, alloy. As far as I'm aware, these can't be destroyed, so you can quite happily put a timber wall in a place that's going to get 300 degrees and I don't think it will burn. Don't quote me on that though, I've not tried. Anyway, so these are our 3 storage containers. So the way storage containers work on this is basically there's 10 of them total, but you can think of them as quantum storage containers. Each one has a number. See here, just. That has a number 2 on it. Every storage container 2 will hold the same inventory as every other storage container 2. So wherever you build a storage container 2, it will hold whatever you put into any other storage container 2. So my one will always have this inventory in here. And these things can hold about double what your cargo can hold. And we have a couple of solar things up here. But yeah, I think I've covered all of the basics and I think we've gone on long enough. This is obviously an open world game or open galaxy game. I can't show you the galaxy from the ground. I would have to be in the in space. I should have opened that earlier, but I'll let you figure that out for yourself. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for watching. This should come out on a Sunday? Yeah. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be having, not Monster Hunter Rise, that's what should have been today, but I never said it would be today, so no. Anyway, where was I? Let's try this again. Thank you very much for watching. We'll have Elden Ring tomorrow. Next Sunday we should be back on Monster Hunter. Touch wood, assuming there's no significant issues with the expansion. And we'll once again have Hard Spaceship Breaker on Friday. But thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show, and hopefully I'll see you next time. I believe we have emotes. Cheerio.